So here we are. You've decided you actually want to grind out some shooting stars. Now this is the part of the video where I would place a particular song with Palpatine flying around in it. If you know, you know. But copyright law is a very real thing, and I fear it. Instead, what I'm going to do is play a royalty-free version of said song and start telling you how I get my Stardust, aka definitely not drugs that make you swing that pickaxe better. This is going to be more of an informal guide. I didn't really see a lot of great info in one place on how to get from star to star, so I'm just going to show you what I do, and even if you don't want to do it the same way, you'll at least have the info so that you can run it the way you want. So first things first, what are we bringing and what requirements are there? Whenever a star falls, it can require you to have all the way up to level 90 mining in 10 level increments, so you can technically do them pretty much whenever. But if you have at least level 60 mining, there'll be an 83% chance you can start it as soon as it lands and not have to wait for another player to mine it down. As for what we're bringing, it's mostly going to consist of teleport items. Stars can fall basically throughout any area of the game, so the more options you have to get around the better. I just kinda load up my inventory with a hodgepodge of random teleports, and it usually works out without having to go back to a bank. I mean, even if you do, it only takes a few seconds to grab what you need. Other than that, I'll have a gem bag, maybe a stamina potion or two, the mining set for a tiny bit of extra XP. Nothing is super required gear-wise besides a pickaxe, obviously. Real quick, crystal pick versus dragon pick. I think the crystal pick is better at high star levels, but once the star depletes to levels like 1 to 3, I personally don't think the charges are worth using anymore. It's totally up to you on that one though. The problem is that you can't carry both of them. It's always going to default to you using the crystal pick if it's in your inventory. So the only time that I use one is if a high level star is also located very close to a bank for a quick swap. I would say this is the real secret to running stars. A simple Excel spreadsheet. It lists all the worlds that have a star and in what general location they're going to land in. I'll have it linked down below for everyone. Right off the bat, a few notes. Yes, this means you still have to check the individual areas that lie within the general locations. I'll touch more on that later. But there's almost no way around that besides joining a shooting star clan chat, and if you've ever used them, you know they have their own set of problems. I just prefer this instead. Secondly, on occasion, I'll check all the areas for a drop and the star didn't end up falling in the general location that was listed. Kinda sucks, but it happens, you just have to move on and try a different one. Using this spreadsheet provides a lot of benefits though. Most importantly, it gives you options. I mean, let's say you don't have a lot of teleport items for Kourend. You can just ignore it on the list and look to a different spot that you do have teleports for. My own bit of advice here, if you do see a clump of stars all falling close to the same time, I would suggest checking the one a little bit further down. Less people tend to show up and you can AFK longer in one spot. Alongside the spreadsheet, I'll also have the Shooting Stars wiki opened up to see what areas I need to check within a general location. These two pages combined can give you a great idea of what teleport items you might need for an upcoming star and show you where you need to check with minimum effort. I mean, it really sounds like so much more work than it is. I would say it typically takes me less than 3 minutes to check where any given star might drop, and after you do find it, depending on how many other people show up, you can easily be sitting there AFK mining for over 30 minutes. I want to say there is one more issue you might come across though. Like right now for me, after this star is up, there aren't going to be any other ones falling for over an hour. Sometimes you find yourself in a dead time slot. In these situations, I'll either set up a timer or just check back later in the day and see how things are looking. That is essentially all I do though. I check the spreadsheet, look at the areas on the map I need to check, sit at a star until it's mined to oblivion, and then move on to the next one. There's just a handful of things left for me to mention. Fallen stars aren't the most consistent grind. There isn't an exact science to it, but I think that's okay because it doesn't take that long at all to get enough Stardust for the ring, which is the usual reason for people doing them. In no particular order, my final bits of knowledge to share with you guys. As the star gets smaller, you'll receive Stardust faster and faster, so you really want to stay at each one until it's finished. Mining enhancers do not work on stars, which means that these items don't provide extra Stardust, but a higher mining level is still helpful. The XP an hour is not competitive here. Almost any other mining activity is gonna be better. Just try to think of the XP you get as a little bit of a bonus, not the main incentive for doing this. And if you're looking to get the ring, upgrade it to a celestial signet, and have a little stockpile of Stardust for charging the ring, I would roughly estimate your grind is going to take between 3 and 6 hours, depending on your star luck and how many other people show up each time. That's going to be how I run my stars though. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask me. I want to give a very special thanks to my past and present patrons, and I'll ask everybody for the typical YouTube help with a like or a subscription if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful. I love each and every one of you guys, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.